In this episode of How China Works.
A former great power, now in very serious decline, and they are angry about it.
China, one of the world's oldest civilizations, was a great power in the past, and is determined to become the global superpower in the coming decades.
Deng is convinced that only the Chinese Communist Party can lead China to prosperity.
Turns out, they're still Chinese. And the United States is not particularly comfortable with that.
At a scale and pace that are almost beyond comprehension. China's building the world's tallest buildings, longest bridges, deepest tunnels, fastest rail trains, huge harbors, over 100 airports. How China is urbanizing. We're talking hundreds of years ago, all of Beijing were covered with these very hutong. How you doing? Hello. Hi, how are you? Good.
Let me ask you something real quick. If I told you that the country where you're buying your goods right now, the same country producing everything from your phone to your generators, your solar panels to your electric cars, was once one of the poorest nations on Earth, would you believe me? Because that is the story of China. And if you're doing business with China or planning to, you need to understand this history because it explains everything happening in the market today. Welcome. My name is Barley Smith China, and I live right here in China. I see this country up close every single day. The factories, the ports, the markets, the streets. And I'm here to break this down for you in a way that actually makes sense for your business and your life. So let me take you back. Before 1978, China was struggling. Not just a little bit, I mean real serious poverty. Under Mao Zedong, the country ran a strict government-controlled economy. The farms were collectivized, the factories were state-owned, and private business, that was not even part of the conversation. There was a period called the Great Leap Forward, where they tried to industrialize overnight, and it resulted in one of the worst famines in human history. Tens of millions of lives. Let that sink in. Then came Deng Xiaoping in 1978, and this man changed everything. He basically said, look, it doesn't matter if the method is communist or capitalist as long as it makes the country grow. He opened up special economic zones. He welcomed foreign investment. He told the Chinese people, go and build, go and trade, go and create wealth. And that's exactly what happened. The thing is, people underestimate how fast this shift happened. Within just 2 or 3 decades, China went from a country where people were farming with basic tools to becoming the world's factory. Companies from America, Europe, Japan, everyone moved their production here because of the cheap labor, the infrastructure, and the speed. Now here's where it gets interesting for those of us in the importation business. China didn't stay at the bottom of the value chain. They learned. A close friend of mine who has been sourcing here for over 12 years always says the same thing. When he first came, suppliers would copy your product and sell it cheaper. Now those same suppliers are creating original products and exporting them globally under their own brands. That is a major shift. By the time China joined the World Trade Organization in 2001, the game was already over for everyone else. Their exports exploded. Cities like Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Yiwu, places I walk through regularly, became global trade capitals. Ports like Ningbo and Shanghai became the busiest in the world. And I can tell you from being here, standing at those ports and watching those containers move, it's something else. The scale is almost impossible to describe. Fast forward to today, and China controls 60% of the world's AI patents. They produce over 80% of the world's solar panels. Their electric vehicle company BYD is now outselling traditional car brands globally. Their 5G network is the most advanced on the planet. They've built a space station. They've got trains running at over 350 kilometers per hour. And the Belt and Road Initiative has extended their influence into Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America, everywhere. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This dominance does come with some friction. Tariff wars with America, restrictions on Chinese tech companies in certain markets, trade tensions that affect pricing and supply chains. I've seen it happen. Products that were easy to ship suddenly faced delays. New regulations came in and suppliers had to adjust fast. So if you're importing right now, you need to stay informed because China's position in global trade is always moving. Here is the contrarian truth that most people won't tell you. China's rise is not going to stop because of tariffs or politics. The infrastructure is already built.
The supply chains are already embedded in every country on Earth. Even products that say made in Vietnam or made in Mexico, a close look at the components will trace right back to China. You're not buying around China, you are buying through China. So what does this mean for you practically? It means China is not going anywhere. It means understanding this market gives you an advantage that most of your competitors don't have. It means sourcing smart, building relationships with the right suppliers, and not waiting until you're forced to adapt. That's what I do here every single day, and that's what Barley Smith China is built for, to give you real information from someone actually on the ground making it work. Now tell me in the comments, what's the next video about China you want me to make? Drop it below. And if this video gave you value, make sure you're following the channel. I'll see you in the next one.